We are Siouxland proud. This is KCAU-9 News at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Travis Chen. Well, one Siouxland business is back up and running after last week's floods, thanks to the support of community volunteers and corporate neighbors. It's our top story at 10. Here are some pictures from last Sunday. As you can see, lots of water up and down the aisles of the Sunshine Foods in Haywarden. But today looks a lot different. As customers were able to come in and shop for items, the store was able to open quickly because of the help of volunteers and other Sunshine store managers in the area.
Actually, we had a lot of Sunshine managers from other stores come in and help us out, so that was a great help. A lot of community members, which was awesome considering how much is needed in the community right now, and our employees stepped up and really helped us out as well. And they've been great at helping us. We were in the middle of resetting our store anyway, so they've been great at putting stuff where it belongs and getting us back into shape.
The store would also like to thank all the volunteers that built a sand levee behind the store to try and prevent waters from getting into the store. Well, Tyson Foods deployed its Meals That Matter disaster relief team out to McCook Lake to provide hot meals, water, and ice to those impacted by recent flooding in the Siouxland area. Company volunteers made chicken and prepped containers of food to give to residents as they drove through the pickup area. Tyson's long connection with the Siouxland community is why they were out today to help.
Tyson has a huge presence here in the Iowa, South Dakota area, and we wanted to be here today to serve meals and to show the community that Tyson cares about what is going on and our team members, and reaching out to the communities to help support them.
Now, Tyson gave out 1,200 meals today. They will be back in McCook Lake tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the McCook Lake Isaac Walton League.
So we have enough to serve up to 10,000 meals of the hot meals, but then we do have over 80,000 pounds of protein that we are going to be putting back into the community.
Tyson also served meals in Jefferson, South Dakota, Dakota City, Nebraska, and other communities that were affected during the flood. Today we're learning more details about the railroad bridge that partially collapsed near North Sioux City, South Dakota. BNSF Railroad told KCAU that on Sunday night, they suspended operations on the bridge around 6 p.m. The bridge collapse happened around 11 p.m., 5 hours later. Officials told KCAU 3 days ago that crews are making considerable progress on the bridge, but it will require extensive repair work. There's still no timeline on when the work on the bridge will be done. Cleanup continues in Rock Valley, Iowa, 1 week after that community was affected by floodwaters. Reporter Summer Rattershad has more from Rock Valley.
It's been a week since a flood destroyed over 100 homes in Rock Valley. Because of this, volunteers in surrounding communities are helping where they can. In Sioux Center, the laundromat and volunteers are helping people with their laundry needs. The past few days, people affected by the flood were able to go there to do their laundry.
We gave people free quarters to do laundry during that time. We have to also to educate them about how to clean flood damaged laundry.
They're also helping people from directly inside Rock Valley.
We partnered with some Sioux Center churches, and they were able to find volunteers who are willing to do people's everyday laundry in their homes. So that's going on through the weekend, and then we're going to reassess and see if people still need that service.
And while a lot of neighboring communities are helping the city, they also have people coming from across the nation to help.
Mercy Chefs, which is based out of Virginia, is in town to help feed the community.
So today we're serving 5,000 meals, and we're going to stay in this area for as long as the need for food after these disasters remains.
While they aren't from the area, they want to do anything they can for those affected by the flood.
As we drove in, we saw fields of crops that were just destroyed from these floods. People's homes are absolutely destroyed, basement walls have caved in, and people are struggling. And we're here just to provide some sense of normalcy through these beautiful meals.
Well, Papa's food truck in Sioux Falls traveled down to Rock Valley to serve food to families impacted by the flood. On Thursday, they fed around 1,000 people and are glad they can provide a meal for those in need.
We wanted to try to do as much as possible. We got blessed with a couple great volunteers that stepped in and really helped launch our Facebook group, and then that just kind of got the ball rolling, and the donations have been rolling in and the support has been fantastic.
Many people are in need of help in Siouxland after the record flooding. That's why KCAU9 and Nexstar Media Group have teamed with the Siouxland Recovery Fund. All the donations received will go directly to our friends, neighbors, and families who have been through so much in the last week. If you want to contribute, we have links on our website, SiouxlandProud.com, and the KCAU9 News app. Well, a lot of discussion this week on whether South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem should have deployed the South Dakota National Guard to help communities like McCook Lake with flooding. Reporter Dan Santella sat down with the governor and her answers to some tough questions.
South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem says deploying the National Guard was among the options for responding to the floodwaters that consumed several South Dakota communities.
We did down in Union County, when I was down there, I believe on Sunday, have a discussion about National Guard, and they were talking about security resources that they needed. So after that discussion, we decided it would be more appropriate to bring law enforcement in, who had the authority to actually, they were concerned about people going into homes that were unsafe and not being able to stop them, maybe looters and people that would be vandalizing some of these homes that did not have families in them any longer, and realized that the authority that a law enforcement officer and highway patrol officer would have would be much more appropriate than a National Guard soldier.
The National Guard wasn't dispatched. Now, Noem's previous decision to send the Guard to the U.S. border with Mexico has received attention.
Is there an inconsistency in sending the Guard to the border, but not to Union County?
No, it's a completely different situation. And I would say that people that have time to criticize should instead get off their keyboards and go help their neighbors. You know, go help people in South Dakota get through this situation. People have lost their homes. And to politicize it is completely inappropriate.
With this decision, Noem emphasizes a precise mission.
The National Guard, when they are deployed, they have to have a mission. And in sitting there with the community, having the discussion on if it was appropriate to use the National Guard or not, they decided not to make a request because they did not have a mission for them to complete.
With floodwaters leaving scars and holes like these and leaving many homes unlivable, there's no shortage of people needing support. Asked how well-wishers can help the people who were hit so hard, Noem highlights a local office.
I think always work with your county emergency management director. They know where the needs are, and they're helping to coordinate that.
Well, the 4th of July is less than a week away. Okoboji is one of the top destinations for many of you to spend your holiday. Now, if you are planning on spending your 4th in Okoboji, be prepared for some changes. Swimming is allowed, but do it at your own risk. The lakes are contaminated because of raw sewage that has been released into the water. If you want a boat, there is a 5-mile-per-hour wake rule in effect for all lakes in Dickinson County. Be careful while boating. There is a lot of stuff floating in the lakes.
If you do come up here, just remember that there's a lot of debris floating in this water. So at 5 miles an hour, it shouldn't be a problem, but there are full docks and planks and things like that floating across our water. So be cognizant of that so that you don't run into something and wreck a boat or a prop out on the water. So.
Now, there is no timetable for when the wake rule will be lifted in Dickinson County. Well, this summer's Art Walk in Sioux City will be just a bit different. The theme for the walk is Advance to Go. It will feature more than 40 local artists taking part in a unique exhibit. They will take traditional game boards and turn them into artworks. Visitors have the opportunity to see the masterpieces and vote on their favorite artwork. A local artist says the artists were given a game board in April and had 3 months to complete the art piece.
What I've heard from the other artists and what I've experienced myself with my own game board is that artists are achieving very creative results, something that we never would have done if we had not been, spurred to do this by this particular event.
Whoever gets the People's Choice Award will receive a $200 gift card to Games Kings. The Art Walk takes place on July 11th. The event is free to the public. Well, the Great Plains Zoo in Sioux Falls is roaring with excitement. The zoo held its grand opening on Friday for its lion exhibit. Summer Rattershat has more from Sioux Falls.
Children were roaring with excitement. as they waited in high anticipation to see the lions. Before the exhibit opened, different people spoke at the opening ceremony, including Denny Sanford, who just donated $25 million to the zoo for a new aquarium.
It's so fun to see you here, to see the new lion, and we're all going to have a great time today. How about our lion? One more clap.
Awaiting their grand debut backstage were Simba and Amale.
They're hanging out here and they're loving life. They're playing a lot and roaring back and forth to each other. So it's been amazing. It's been super fun.
Eventually, the lions will be able to share a space, but they aren't quite acclimated to each other yet, so they have to be kept separate.
Simba really adores her. She, on the other hand, is still unsure. So she'll tell us all the signs. I really can't put a timeline on when they'd be together.
While they have an outside enclosure, because of the excess rains, it's not quite ready for the lions to take over yet.
We wish the grass was already growing on the outside exhibit so they could be out there, but we want to make sure the grass is nice and flush for them.
As lion fever roars across Sioux Falls.
I'm the most excited for the community because this is a huge moment for them all to bring lions back, bring the roar back, as we say.
All right, Maggie, we had a lot of wind today out there. It looks like we might have some storms on Monday. What's coming up here in the next few days?
Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say it's going to be some great weather tomorrow before those showers and storms. Seeing some great conditions out there for those activities going on downtown Sioux City currently. Not seeing any rain, not seeing any storms, currently at 64 degrees, so rather cool out there with that dew point down to 52 and that wind out of the north at 8 miles an hour. Also currently seeing those river levels down on the Missouri River here at Sioux City back into that normal range and expected to continue to be on the downward trend, and we do continue to see some of those rivers up. There's that Big Sioux River. Still seeing many of those gauges at minor flood stage. Some of those have dropped from that moderate flood stage today. There at Akron, still at moderate flood stage, and then along the Little Sioux River, many of those gauges still between minor and moderate flood stage as well. We have seen that Cherokee one drop to moderate and continue to see that Spencer one drop to that minor flood stage as well. We expect those to continue to be on the decrease through the rest of the weekend into next week. Also seeing those temperatures on the decrease to 64 degrees here in Sioux City, 61 there in Storm Lake, and as cool as 59 there in Sheldon. Some low 60s also out towards Bloomfield, Norfolk, and Neely, and those temperatures as much as 10 to 15 degrees cooler. Those biggest movers up there towards the north and the west, or east rather. 15 degrees cooler there in Esterville, 14 degrees cooler in Sheldon, and 13 degrees cooler in Orange City and Storm Lake, and then just a few degrees cooler off to the west there. Those dew points though have dropped substantially, feeling much more comfortable than this time last night when we saw those dew points into the upper 60s, mid 70s, those back down to the 50s now. 52 in Sioux City, 49 up there in Sioux Falls, and 56 in Wayne, and then some lower 50s as you travel further to the east and the north. So very dry, very comfortable air, and on those northerly winds out there that have started to ease up. Seeing those only between 5 and 10 miles an hour. We aren't seeing those gusts nearly as high as we were this afternoon. Those gusts up to 30 miles an hour through the afternoon. What we are continuing to see though is those dry conditions across the region, continuing to watch a few showers down there towards southern Illinois, but overall nothing here in Siouxland, nothing really across the region. However, that will be changing as we head through the last half of the weekend, looking at some cloud cover building back in through our Sunday night as a warm front approaches. That low pressure system going to bring several rounds of showers and storms for our Monday, that potential for some severe weather, with all modes of severe possible through our Monday afternoon and evening. That slight risk encompassing pretty much all of Siouxland, as is a slight risk for excessive rainfall. Looking at upwards of ½ an inch to an inch of rain, if not a little bit more through Monday evening. 53 degrees for tonight though, mostly clear, cool, breezy, and dry for us. And then looking at that 9 on 9, looking at temperatures rising past those shower and storm chances. A great 4th of July, although could be seeing some shower and storm chances for the evening, so might have to move those plans around for those fireworks in some spots from time to time, but overall looking great. Might hold those off till Friday or Saturday, though looking even better heading into the weekend with those temperatures in the low and mid 80s. Looking great for Saturday in the park as well for those folks headed out there.
I do like the look of those temperatures. I just don't like those rain chances because no one here needs any more rain.
Yeah, we for sure don't need any more. So something we're going to be watching carefully, and we will keep you updated on that.
All right. Well, thanks, Maggie.